8 a.m. Isabella Martinez wiped down the crystal table in the living room when she saw 5 luxury cars pulling up to the gate. 4 months working at the Romano mansion, she knew this day would be different. Upstairs, Vincent Romano pointed out the window to his son Luca, age 8. "Son, the 5 ladies we talked about just arrived. For the next 30 days, they're gonna stay here with us." Luca watched the elegant women stepping out of their cars. "And at the end, I have to pick one to be my new mom, right, Dad?" "That's right, they're well-educated women from important families. I'm sure you'll like them." "What if I don't like any of them?" "You will, son. They can give you a good education, take you to see the world." The sound of breaking glass echoed through the entire house, followed by a furious scream. "Stupid housekeeper. You broke my very expensive glass." Vincent and Luca looked at each other, startled. "What was that, Dad?" "I don't know, son. Let's go see what's happening." Father and son rushed downstairs. In the living room, a shocking scene. Isabella on her knees picking up shards, her finger bleeding. A tall brunette with crossed arms glared at her like she was trash. That glass was imported crystal. It cost more than her yearly salary. "It was an accident," Isabella murmured without lifting her head. "An accident?" The woman laughed sarcastically. "People like you shouldn't even touch expensive things." "Excuse me, what's going on here?" Vincent interrupted. The brunette turned with a fake smile. "Oh, Vincent, I'm Beatrice Cavalcanti. Just arrived and your maid already broke my crystal glass." The other 4 women entered, stopped, and stared at Isabella on the floor. "Wow, what a situation," commented a thin blonde. "Victoria Whitmore, pleasure." "Accidents happen," Vincent said, trying to smooth things over. "They happen with uneducated people," Victoria retorted, looking straight at Isabella. "Refined people know how to handle things." Luca came out from behind his father and ran to Isabella. "Bella, you're hurt?" Isabella lifted her eyes for the first time. Tears she was holding back. "It's nothing, sweetheart, just a scratch." Beatrice raised an eyebrow. "What kind of familiarity is this?" Vincent saw he needed to take control of the situation. "Since you're all here, let's introduce ourselves properly. This is Isabella, our employee, and you are the candidates." Beatrice stepped forward. "Beatrice Cavalcanti, traditional New York family, degree in international relations. Victoria Whitmore, model and influencer. I've lived in Paris." A brunette with glasses spoke. "Regina Dawson, lawyer from Columbia Law." "Cassandra Lancaster, dermatologist," said a redhead. "Practice in Manhattan." "Sophia Matsuda, architect," completed the last one. Throughout all this, they ignored Isabella as if she were invisible. The housekeeper stood beside Luca, still holding the bloodied cloth. "Very well," said Vincent. "For the next 30 days you'll live here. At the end, Luca chooses who he'd like me to marry." "And the maid?" Beatrice asked. "Will she keep working here?" "Of course. Isabella's been working here for 4 months." Victoria exchanged a look with Regina. "We just hope she knows to stay in her place." Vincent frowned. "What do you mean?" "Nothing much," Regina said quickly. "Just that it's good to keep things organized, right? Everyone in their place." Luca pulled Isabella's hand. "Bella, come see the drawing I made." "No, Luca," Cassandra cut in. "Your employee needs to clean up this mess she made. But she's hurt." "It's okay, sweetheart," Isabella said gently. "I'll clean this up real quick and then see your drawing, okay?" Beatrice observed with narrow eyes. Interesting, this intimacy. After lunch, the 5 gathered on the terrace to plan. Each had brought expensive gifts. "I brought the latest iPad," Beatrice said, pulling it from her bag. "Top model with games." "I was thinking a trip to Disney World," Victoria said. "I have connections there." Regina opened her briefcase. "Education is fundamental. I researched the best private schools in New York." "Health can't be neglected," Cassandra said. "I scheduled a checkup with the best pediatricians." Sophia showed blueprints. "I'm going to redesign his room, something more sophisticated." All satisfied with their plans. Luca appeared on the terrace, a bit shy. "Hi, Luca, honey," Beatrice shouted with an exaggerated smile. "Look what I brought." She showed the iPad. His eyes sparkled for a second, then returned to normal. "Thank you." "How about Disney World?" Victoria suggested, crouching down. "Would you like that?" "I guess so," he answered politely but without excitement. Anyone could see he wasn't having fun. Then Isabella appeared with a tray of juices and cookies. Afternoon snack. Luca's face changed completely. A genuine smile bloomed. Bella, did you make those cinnamon cookies? I did, sweetheart. And look, she removed colored paper from the tray. I brought new paper for us to make origami. Really? What colors? Blue, red, yellow, all the ones you asked for. Luca clapped his hands, genuinely excited for the first time. The five watched in silence. It was impossible not to see the difference. We'll do it after homework, right, Bella? Will you help me with math? Of course. Victoria cleared her throat. Luca, honey, don't you think you should try more appropriate things, sports, languages? I like origami, Luca said simply. Regina exchanged looks with the others. That closeness definitely wasn't normal. After dinner, with Luca asleep and Vincent in his office, the five gathered in the living room. Ladies, we need to talk, Beatrice whispered. About what? Cassandra asked, but everyone knew. About this embarrassing situation with the maid. Sophia looked around. Did you see how Luca reacts when she appears? It's very strange, Regina agreed. An 8-year-old shouldn't have this intimacy with staff. Victoria shook her head. It confuses him about who's in charge here. Exactly, Cassandra said. From a medical standpoint, it's not healthy. Luca needs to understand his place in society. And her place, Beatrice added coldly. Regina pulled out a notepad. My family always had household staff. The rule is clear. Stay in your square. This Isabella doesn't understand that, Victoria said. She acts like she's family. Even worse, Sophia murmured. Beatrice stood and walked to the window. Look, ladies, let's be realistic. We're here to win Vincent over and educate Luca properly. How can we do that with a maid interfering? What are you suggesting? Cassandra asked. That we teach her some lessons in etiquette. What kind of lessons? Beatrice smiled, but with no warmth. She's going to learn the difference between boss and employee, and she's going to learn to stay in her place. In the office, Vincent tried to work but couldn't stop thinking about what he'd seen. Something was wrong. He'd known wealthy people his whole life, knew how they treated staff, how they kept up appearances. But the way the five treated Isabella was too much. On the other hand, he couldn't deny what he saw with Luca. In the 4 months since Isabella arrived, the boy changed completely. Before he barely spoke, hardly ate, lived sad. Now he smiled, played, seemed like a normal kid. Knock on the door. Dad, can I come in? Of course, son. Luca entered in pajamas with a paper in his hand. Look what Bella taught me to make today. He showed a perfect origami bird. It's beautiful. She teaches well, doesn't she? She does. And you know what's best? She's patient. When I mess up, she doesn't get mad, just explains again. Vincent pulled his son onto his lap. Luca, what did you think of the ladies today? The boy thought. They're pretty, Dad, and they brought cool presents, but Bella is nicer. Why? Because she's real. Vincent frowned. What do you mean? The others act different when you're around and when you're not. Bella is always the same with me. His son's words left him thoughtful. Children really knew how to read people. Dad, are you going to send Bella away? Why would I do that? I don't know, I just got scared. Vincent hugged tighter. Bella's been working here for 4 months and you like her. Why would I fire her? Promise she stays? I promise. Luca smiled, relieved, and kissed his father's face. Good night, Dad. After Luca left, Vincent sat alone thinking. He needed to pay more attention in the coming days. He was sure that tonight's peace wouldn't last. Thursday. Isabella came downstairs to start work and found the 5 women in the living room as if they were waiting for her. Good morning, Isabella said. Complete silence, as if she were a ghost. Victoria was on the couch when she spilled sugar on the floor. Oops, how clumsy. Can someone, what's her name again, clean this up? It's Isabella, Regina said, pretending to remember. But it's hard to memorize staff names. Isabella grabbed a cloth, but before she finished, Cassandra bumped into a plant and knocked soil onto the clean carpet. Oops, how unlucky. You'll have to clean everything again. Luca ran down the stairs at that moment. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Bella. Isabella's face lit up. Good morning, sweetheart. Why is there dirt on the floor? Before Isabella could answer, Beatrice jumped in. It was a little accident, Luca. Your employee will clean it up. It wasn't an accident, Luca said, looking straight at Cassandra. I saw you knock it over on purpose. Awkward silence. The five exchanged glances. Luca, honey, Victoria said, forcing a smile. You must have seen wrong. I didn't see wrong. You're all being mean to Bella. Beatrice crouched to his level. Listen, Luca, there are things children don't understand. We just want your house to be more organized. Organized how? Each person in their place, Regina explained. Maids take care of cleaning, and educated people take care of you. Luca frowned. But Bella takes care of me well. She doesn't have the training for that, Cassandra said. Children need guidance from qualified people. Bella is qualified, Luca said. Victoria's voice became firmer. Luca, you need to learn the difference between staff and family. The boy looked at Isabella, who had stopped cleaning and was listening to everything. Bella, are they right? Isabella swallowed her tears. Sweetheart, go have breakfast. We'll talk later. But Luca didn't leave. I like Bella more than all of you, he said simply. The five women turned red with rage. Monday of the second week. Vincent installed discreet cameras over the weekend. Now he watched everything from his office, and what he saw made him furious. On the screen, he saw Sophia hiding Isabella's cleaning supplies, saw Regina dirtying the bathroom she'd just cleaned, saw Victoria deliberately spilling coffee on the couch. Isabella, come here, Beatrice yelled on the screen. Vincent watched Isabella run to the living room and find paint spilled on the marble floor. What's this mess? I didn't do this, Isabella said. Then who did? A ghost? Someone spilled it on purpose. Beatrice laughed sarcastically. Now you're accusing us? How rude. I just said that. Careful with accusations, dear. Staff can be fired for insubordination. Vincent clenched his fists watching the scene. He was about to go down but decided to gather more evidence first. On screen, he saw Luca appear. What happened, Bella? Nothing serious, sweetheart. Just an accident. It wasn't an accident, Luca said, looking at the five. You did it on purpose again. Luca, Cassandra said, pretending to be shocked. How can you talk like that? Because it's true. You're always being mean to Bella. Beatrice approached the boy. Listen carefully, Luca. If you keep defending the maid against us, you'll have to choose which side you're on. I already chose. I'm on Bella's side. Then you chose wrong, Victoria said coldly. Luca started crying. Isabella ran to console him, but Regina blocked the way. Let him cry, that's how he learns. That's when Vincent couldn't take it anymore. He ran downstairs. What's going on here? Instantly, the five women changed their expressions. Oh, Vincent, Beatrice said, smiling. You came just in time. Luca made a terrible scene. What scene? He accused us of doing mean things to your employee. Vincent looked at his crying son and Isabella with her head down. Luca, come here. The boy ran to his father. Dad, they're being really mean to Bella. How so? They dirty everything she cleans, hide her things, and say I have to choose sides. Vincent looked at the five candidates, all with innocent faces. Is this true? Of course not, Regina said, indignant. These are a child's fantasies. But Vincent had seen everything on the cameras. He knew exactly who was lying. Wednesday. Vincent called the five for a talk. Ladies, I want to make something clear. Any staff member in this house must be treated with respect. Of course, Vincent, Beatrice said sweetly. But respect is a two-way street, isn't it? What do you mean? Your employee also needs to respect us, Victoria explained, and stay in her place. Her place is taking care of the house, and she does it well. But not just that, Cassandra said. She interferes with Luca's upbringing. That's not her job. Luca likes her. What's the problem? Regina stepped forward. Vincent, an orphaned child can develop excessive attachment to any maternal figure that appears. It's not healthy. Are you questioning my judgment as a father? Never, Regina said quickly. I'm just offering professional guidance. And what guidance is that? Maintaining healthy distance between Luca and household staff. Vincent felt anger, but controlled himself. I'll think about what you said. That afternoon, he personally called Isabella's references. Mrs. Carter, this is Vincent Romano. I wanted to ask about Isabella Martinez. Oh, Isabella. Wonderful person. She worked here for 2 years taking care of my twins. Never had a single problem. He called Dr. Stevens. Isabella? One of the most honest employees I've ever had. Why do you ask? He called 3 more families. All praised Isabella. Someone's lying, Vincent thought. And it's not Isabella. That evening at dinner, he observed the 5 smiling, educated candidates asking about his day. How was work today? Beatrice asked. Interesting, Vincent said. I made some calls checking references. He saw a flash of nervousness in Regina's eyes. Staff references? It's always good to confirm background, right? Of course, Victoria said quickly. You never know who you're dealing with. But Vincent saw what he needed to see. Their reaction confirmed his suspicions. Friday. Vincent's phone rang during a company meeting. Vince, it's Carla, his sister, sounding worried. Hey sis, what's this story I'm hearing about you? What story? Monica Dawson called me, said you're having problems, that you're losing your mind over some maid. Vincent frowned. Who's Monica Dawson? Famous lawyer, friend of Regina Dawson. Now it made sense. Regina was spreading rumors through her network. Carla, I don't have any problems. Are you sure? Because everyone's talking. An hour later, his business partner Robert called. Vince, we have a problem. What problem? Investors are nervous. Someone spread that you're making questionable decisions that could affect the business. What kind of decisions? Something about staff? An irregular situation? I didn't understand clearly, but they want a meeting. Vincent hung up, irritated. The candidates were attacking his professional reputation. He arrived home determined to confront them, but found a scene that made him stop. Luca was crying in Isabella's arms in the garden. What happened? Vincent asked. The ladies said Bella's leaving. Luca sobbed. Who said that? Beatrice said that maids who don't know their place have to be fired. Vincent looked at Isabella. She really said that? Yes, Mr. Romano. Where are they? In the living room. Vincent entered the house furious. The 5 were chatting animatedly but stopped when they saw him. Vincent, how was your day? Beatrice asked, smiling. Interesting. I received several calls today. Oh yeah? Yeah. People worried about me, saying I have problems because of staff. Silence. The 5 exchanged quick glances. How strange, Victoria said. Who would say such things? Good question, Vincent said, looking straight at Regina. Who indeed? Regina turned red. I don't know. Maybe it's legitimate concern from friends. Or maybe someone's spreading lies. Vincent, Beatrice said, standing up. Are you accusing us of something? I'm asking if you know anything about these rumors. Of course not, Cassandra said, indignant. But Vincent saw the lie in their eyes, and they saw that he saw. War was officially declared. Sunday. Vincent was in the garden when a man in a suit appeared. Mr. Vincent Romano? Yes. Carlos Silva, private investigator. I need to talk about your employee, Isabella Martinez. Who hired you? Someone concerned about your family. The man showed a folder. Mr. Romano, your employee isn't who she seems. Vincent took the documents. Reports about firings for theft, inappropriate behavior with children. Where did these papers come from? Professional investigation, all official. Vincent examined the documents. Something was off. The dates didn't match up. Some stamps looked fake. Let me ask you something, Vincent said. How much did they pay you to fabricate this? The investigator got nervous. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. These documents are fake, and I'm going to find out who hired you. Mr. Romano, you're making a mistake. The mistake was made by whoever thought I'd swallow this farce. Vincent tore the papers in front of the man. You can tell whoever hired you it didn't work. After the investigator left, Vincent went inside. In the living room, he found the 5 women waiting anxiously. So, Vincent, Beatrice asked, what did the investigator want? Try to fool me with fake documents. The 5 went pale. Document forgery is a crime, Vincent continued. Whoever did this can be arrested. Regina started sweating. Vincent, you can't think I can and I do. Beatrice tried to maintain composure. That's a very serious accusation. It's a fact. You hired that guy to make up lies about Isabella. You have no proof, Victoria said. Vincent smiled. don't I? He went to the computer and opened the camera footage. On screen, Beatrice appeared on the phone in the garden. Yes, I need a complete dossier on Isabella Martinez. Makeup problems at her previous jobs. How much does it cost? Perfect. The five were shocked watching the video. I have everything recorded, Vincent said coldly. Every mean act, every lie, every sabotage. Beatrice tried one last card. Vincent, we just want to protect you and Luca. Lies. You just want to destroy an innocent person. Luca appeared at the door at that moment. Dad, what's happening? Nothing much, son. Just found out who the bad people in this story are. The boy looked at the five women. It's them, right, Dad? It's them, Luca. Beatrice became furious. This won't end like this. You'll regret this. But Vincent wasn't scared anymore. He'd discovered the truth and now he was going to get justice. Monday. Vincent called Isabella for a talk. Isabella, I need to apologize. Apologize? Why, Mr. Romano? For doubting you. For not protecting you from those women. Isabella started crying. You believe me? I always did. I just let myself get confused by their lies. Mr. Romano, I would never hurt Luca. I love that boy. I know, and he loves you too. Vincent showed her the camera footage. Isabella was shocked seeing all the cruelty they'd done. They did all this? Everything. And they spread lies about you around the city. What are you going to do? I'm going to expose them publicly. How? Vincent smiled. I have a plan, but I need your help. What do you need? For you to trust me, and to keep being the wonderful person you've always been? Isabella smiled for the first time in weeks. I trust you. Good, because tomorrow we start our revenge. That night the five candidates gathered in the living room. They were nervous. He found out everything, Regina said. Calm down, Beatrice said. We still have cards to play. What cards? Victoria asked. We'll spread that he lost his mind, that he's obsessed with the maid. We'll destroy his reputation completely. And if it doesn't work? Cassandra asked. It will, Beatrice said with a malicious smile. Because tomorrow the real war begins. But they didn't know Vincent was listening to everything through the camera and already had the perfect plan to finish them once and for all. Wednesday. Vincent spent the last 2 days organizing his counterattack. Now it was time to act. He called the first number on the list Isabella had given. Hello, Mrs. Carter. This is Vincent Romano. Do you know Isabella Martinez? Of course. Isabella is wonderful. She worked here for 2 years taking care of my twins. Why do you ask? Just confirming references. Did you have any problems with her? Problems? On the contrary, when she left, the whole family cried. The boys spent weeks asking when Aunt Bella was coming back. Vincent smiled. And about honesty? Oh, my friend, this girl is pure gold. Once she found $200 that fell from my purse and ran after me to return it. Someone with integrity like her is hard to find. He called Dr. Stevens. Doctor, do you know Isabella Martinez? I do. She worked at my office for over a year. Why? Any problems during that time? None. Exemplary employee. Patients loved her, always polite, always on time. When she asked to leave because her grandmother got sick, I even offered a raise for her to stay. Vincent called 3 more families. All told the same story. Isabella was honest, caring, hardworking. None had any complaints. Someone is lying shamelessly, he thought. And I know exactly who. That afternoon, he called Isabella to the office. Bella, I need to tell you something. I called all your references. She tensed. And? They all praised you. Said you're the best employee they ever had. Isabella sighed with relief. Thank you for checking, Mr. Romano. Isabella, I want to make you a proposal. What kind of proposal? Vincent leaned in his chair. I want you to help me unmask these 5 women publicly. What do you mean? I'm going to organize a party on the last day of the competition. I'll invite press, family, friends, and there, in front of everyone, I'll show who they really are. Isabella's eyes sparkled. You're going to expose them? I am, but I need your help pretending I still believe their lies. I can do that? Are you sure? They'll try to humiliate you even more in the coming days. Isabella lifted her chin. Let them try. Now I know you're on my side. Vincent smiled. I always was, Isabella. Just took me a while to realize it. That night at dinner, Vincent put on his act. Ladies, I need to talk to you about Isabella. The five perked up, thinking he was going to fire the employee. Go ahead, Vincent, Beatrice said. You were right about her. I called her references and discovered some inconsistencies. Regina could barely hide her smile. What kind of inconsistencies? I prefer not to go into details in front of Luca, Vincent said, looking at his son. But you were right. And what are you going to do? Victoria asked anxiously. I'm thinking of firing her after the party on the last day. The five practically exploded with joy inside, but controlled themselves. I think it's a wise decision, Cassandra said. It's best for Luca, Sophia agreed. But Luca, who was listening to everything, became desperate. Dad, you can't fire Bella. Luca, adults know what's best. The boy started crying. No, Bella. Isabella, who was serving dinner, approached. It's okay, sweetheart, don't cry. Isabella, Vincent said coldly, please keep your distance from my son. Her look filled with fake tears. Yes, sir. The five candidates exchanged victorious looks. They'd finally succeeded. But they didn't know it was all a perfect act. Friday. Vincent pretended to leave for work, but secretly returned home. He wanted to record a conversation among the five without them knowing. He hid in the office and turned on the camera system. On screen, he saw the women celebrating in the living room. Ladies, we did it, Beatrice said, raising a champagne glass. Finally, Victoria celebrated, that lowlife is leaving. The plan worked perfectly, Regina said. The fake investigator, forged documents, rumors spread around town. And best of all, Cassandra added, Vincent thinks it was his idea to fire her. Sophia laughed loudly. Men are so easy to manipulate. Vincent recorded everything but wanted more confessions. He used the intercom, pretending to be someone from the street. Excuse me, is anyone there? Beatrice answered. Who is it? Vincent changed his voice. I'm a reporter from the local paper. I'd like to talk about the situation with the maid in this house. What situation? We heard she's being fired for behavioral problems. The five looked at each other, excited. It was the chance to spread more lies. Come in, Beatrice said. Vincent hung up the intercom and kept recording. The five thought the reporter wasn't coming and started talking among themselves. If a real journalist comes here, Regina said, we tell them she tried to seduce Vincent. And that she manipulated the boy, Victoria added. We can say she stole small things from the house, Cassandra suggested. Or that she mistreated Luca when the father wasn't around, Sophia completed. Beatrice smiled maliciously. We'll make up so much that she'll never get a job with a wealthy family again. Vincent couldn't believe what he was hearing. Their cruelty had no limits. And after she's gone, Beatrice continued, we'll campaign to destroy her reputation completely. How? Regina asked. We'll spread on social media that she's a con artist, that she seduces rich bosses by pretending to care about their kids. That'll end her life, Victoria said. Exactly, Beatrice replied coldly. She'll learn not to mess with people like us. Vincent felt disgusted. Those women weren't just prejudiced, they were cruel and vindictive. He saved all the recordings and smiled. Now I have enough ammunition to destroy you, he thought. That afternoon, he called a journalist friend. Mike, it's Vincent. I need a favor. Shoot, Vince. Would you do a story about class prejudice? I have an incredible story to tell. Sure. What's it about? 5 socialites trying to destroy a humble employee, and I have it all recorded. That'll make an excellent piece. Then set it up for Sunday. I'm organizing a party and you'll film everything. Vincent hung up, satisfied. The revenge was being prepared down to the smallest detail. Sunday. Vincent pretended to be increasingly convinced that Isabella was a problem. During lunch, he put on another act. Ladies, there's news about the Isabella situation. Tell us, Beatrice said anxiously. I scheduled a party for the last day of the competition. I'm going to officially announce which of you I chose to marry. How exciting, Victoria said. And the maid? Regina asked. I'm going to fire her in front of everyone. That way she serves as an example to other staff who don't know their place. The 5 could barely hide their joy. It'll be perfect, Cassandra said. Justice finally being served, Sophia agreed. Luca, who was listening, ran from the table crying. Vincent pretended not to care. He'll understand when he grows up, he told the candidates. Later, Vincent found Luca crying in his room with Isabella trying to console him. Why is Dad being like this, Bella? I don't know, sweetheart. Sometimes adults do things we don't understand. Are you really leaving? Isabella looked at Vincent, who signaled for her to keep acting. Maybe it's better this way, Luca. Your father knows what's best for you. He doesn't. You're good to me. Sweetheart, you need to obey your father. Luca hugged Isabella, crying. I don't want you to leave. Vincent felt his heart squeeze, seeing his son suffering, but he knew it was necessary. Soon, everything would be resolved. That night, the 5 candidates met for final preparations. Ladies, we did it, Beatrice said. In 8 days that lowlife will be on the street, and one of us will be the new Mrs. Romano, Victoria added. Who do you think he'll choose? Regina asked. Doesn't matter, Cassandra said. The important thing is we won. Let's celebrate, Sophia suggested. They opened a very expensive bottle from Vincent's wine cellar and toasted. To our victory, Beatrice said. And the maid's defeat, Victoria completed. They all laughed loudly, not knowing they were being recorded. Vincent, watching everything from the office, shook his head. Laugh while you can, he murmured. Because in 8 days you'll find out who really won this war. Tuesday. The candidates decided to accelerate Isabella's reputation destruction before the final party. Victoria called a friend who worked for a high society gossip site. Hi, Jana. It's Victoria. I have a hot story for you. Talk to me. There's a housekeeper trying to seduce her millionaire boss. Vincent Romano? I know the businessman. Exactly. The maid is manipulating his son to get him to marry her. It's a scandal. Can I publish this? You can, but don't say it was me who told you, okay? Within hours, the story was online. Gold digger maid tries to seduce millionaire boss using orphaned son. The article said Isabella Martinez was psychologically manipulating Luca Romano to marry his rich father. They made up that she gave expensive gifts to the child and spoke badly of the qualified candidates the father had chosen. Vincent saw the article on his computer and pretended to be furious. Beatrice, come here. She ran to the office. What's wrong, Vincent? Did you see this article online? Beatrice looked shocked. What article? About Isabella. Says she's trying to seduce me using Luca. Wow, how absurd, Beatrice said, feigning indignation. Who would have the nerve to spread such a lie? I don't know, but now the whole city will know what kind of person she is. Maybe it's better to fire her today, Beatrice suggested, before she causes more problems. No, I'll wait for the party. I want everyone to see her humiliated publicly. Beatrice smiled inside. The plan was working perfectly, but Vincent was just acting. In reality, he'd already discovered that Victoria was friends with the journalist who published the article. More evidence, he thought. On Sunday, you'll pay for everything. That afternoon, Isabella came home crying. Some neighbors had seen the article and treated her badly on the street. Mr. Romano, she said with a choked voice. People are talking about me on the street. What kind of things? That I'm a gold digger, that I'm trying to marry you for money. Vincent kept a serious face. Do you feel capable of continuing to work under these conditions? I don't know. Because if you want to leave before the party... No, Isabella said quickly. I want to stay until the end. I want to prove I'm innocent. Okay, but from now on, keep your distance from Luca. I don't want more problems. Isabella agreed, but inside she was anxious. Only 6 days until the party of truth. Luca, who'd heard the conversation hiding, ran to his room crying. He didn't understand why his father was being so cruel to the only person who really cared about him. Bella, don't leave, he whispered alone in his room. Please don't leave. Thursday. Public pressure became unbearable for Isabella. When she arrived at work, she found a note taped to the gate. Gold digger, get out of here. On the way to the mansion, 3 neighbors avoided her on the street. One even crossed to the other sidewalk when she saw her. Inside the house, the 5 candidates increased the humiliations. Look who's here, Victoria said when Isabella entered. Our internet celebrity. Everyone's talking about you, Regina added. So famous. Must be nice to be known as a gold digger, Cassandra completed. Isabella endured in silence and went to work. But during lunch she couldn't anymore. She sat in the bathroom and cried for 15 minutes straight. She grabbed her phone and wrote a message to Vincent. "Mr. Romano, I can't take this situation anymore. Maybe it's better if I leave before the party. I don't want to cause more problems for you and Luca." She sent the message and kept crying. Vincent read it and got worried. He ran to the bathroom where she was. "Isabella, open the door." "I'm fine, Mr. Romano." "Open the door, please." She opened. Her eyes were red from crying. "You can't give up now," Vincent said quietly. "I can't take it anymore, Mr. Romano. People look at me like I'm a criminal." "Isabella, listen carefully to what I'm going to say. In 4 days, all this humiliation will be worth it." "What do you mean?" "Trust me. On Sunday you'll get the revenge you deserve." "But what if you've endured this far? Endure 4 more days." Isabella took a deep breath. "Okay, I trust you." "Good. Now go wash your face and keep working. On Sunday they'll find out who's really screwed in this story." That afternoon, Luca looked for Isabella in the garden. "Bella, is it true you're leaving Sunday?" Isabella looked at the boy with a heavy heart. "I don't know, sweetheart. It depends on your father. I don't want you to leave." "I don't want to either." "Then stay." "It's not that simple, Luca." The boy hugged her, crying. "If you leave, I'm leaving too." "Don't say that, sweetheart. Your place is here with your father. My place is wherever you are." Isabella felt tears in her eyes. She didn't know how Vincent was going to resolve this situation, but she hoped his plan would work. Because if it didn't, she'd lose not just her job but also the boy she loved like a son. Friday, 3 days until the party, and Vincent organized the final details. He called his journalist friend. "Mike, Sunday's the big day. I'm anxious, Vince. It'll be the story of the year. Arrive at 2 p.m., the party starts at 3. And the evidence? I have everything. Videos, audios, documents. These women will be completely exposed. Can't wait." Vincent also called family. "Sis, there's a party here Sunday." "Is it the new wife selection?" Carla asked. "It is, and you're in for quite a surprise." "What kind of surprise?" "You'll find out Sunday, but I guarantee it'll be worth it." During the day, the 5 candidates prepared like it was the most important day of their lives. Each still believed she could be the chosen one. "Ladies," Beatrice said, "on Sunday one of us will become Mrs. Romano. And the little maid will leave humiliated in front of everyone," Victoria added. "Can't wait to see her face." Regina laughed. But they didn't know Vincent was preparing a very different surprise than they imagined. That afternoon, he called Isabella for a final talk. "Isabella, tomorrow's the dress rehearsal." "Dress rehearsal? I'm going to pretend I chose one of them to marry. You'll have to pretend you're devastated." "Which one will you pretend to choose?" "Beatrice. She's the group leader." "And on Sunday?" Vincent smiled. "On Sunday, you'll get the biggest revenge of your life." "I'm scared, Mr. Romano." "Scared of what? What if the plan doesn't work? What if people believe them?" "Isabella, you saw the evidence I have, videos, audios, confessions. It's impossible for them to deny." "And Luca, how will he react?" "Luca will be happy because in the end you won't leave. You'll stay here with us." Isabella smiled for the first time that week. "Thank you for believing in me, Mr. Romano. Thank you for not giving up on us, Isabella." That night, Vincent talked to Luca. "Son, tomorrow there's going to be a party." "I know. And you're going to fire Bella," Luca said sadly. "Luca, I need you to trust me." "What do you mean?" "Tomorrow things might happen that you don't understand. But in the end, everything will be okay." "Bella won't leave?" Vincent hugged his son. "Bella isn't going anywhere." Luca smiled hopefully. "Promise?" "I promise." And Vincent knew he'd keep that promise because on Sunday the truth would come out and justice would finally be served. Sunday, 3 p.m. The mansion was packed. Vincent had invited family, friends, neighbors, and even some journalists. Everyone wanted to see who'd be chosen. The 5 candidates arrived looking stunning: expensive dresses, perfect makeup, confident smiles. They knew one of them would leave there as a fiancé. "Today's our day," Beatrice whispered to the others. "One of us is getting rich," Victoria agreed, excited. "And that maid is leaving humiliated," Regina completed. Vincent watched everything from afar, stomach churning. Mike, the journalist friend, was already with his camera ready. "Will it work?" Mike asked quietly. "I hope so," Vincent answered nervously. Luca was in his room, refusing to come down. Isabella tried to convince him. "Sweetheart, your father said everything will be okay. What if it doesn't? What if you really leave? Then we'll always remember the love we had, okay?" At 4 o'clock, Vincent asked for attention. "Everyone, thank you for coming. Today's a special day." The 5 positioned themselves beside him, all smiling. "As you know, these women spent 30 days here. And now," Vincent paused and looked straight at the cameras. "Before announcing my decision, I want to share some things I discovered." Beatrice frowned. "This wasn't in the script. I discovered that not everything that seems true is true." "Vincent," Victoria started nervously. "How about going straight to the announcement?" "But this is part of the announcement," Vincent said, turning on a big screen. "I discovered there are people capable of lying and even forging documents to get what they want." The 5 went pale when the first recording started. On screen, Beatrice's voice. The fake investigator worked perfectly. Complete silence. Everyone looked at Beatrice, who turned red. "That's edited," she stammered. "Is it?" Vincent asked, playing the second video. Now it was Victoria on the phone. "There's a maid trying to seduce her millionaire boss." The crowd started whispering. Victoria tried to explain. "I was protecting Vincent." "Protecting?" Vincent said. "Watch this protection." The third video showed Regina. "We'll make up that she stole things from the house." The fourth, Cassandra. "We can say she mistreated Luca." The fifth, Sophia. "She'll learn not to mess with people like us." The entire party was in shock. People filming with phones, whispering, pointing. "Ladies!" Beatrice shouted desperately. "You don't understand." "We did this for their own good." "For my own good?" Vincent asked coldly. "Forging documents was for my own good. The maid was manipulating you." Regina tried. "What maid?" "This one here?" Vincent gestured, and Isabella appeared at the door. Simple in her uniform but head held high. "Everyone, this is Isabella Martinez. For 30 days, these 5 tried to destroy her life." Everyone looked at Isabella with curiosity. "They made up that she had a criminal record. Made up that she mistreated my son. All lies." "But why would they do that?" someone asked. Vincent smiled bitterly. "Because my 8-year-old son preferred a humble housekeeper to them." "That's ridiculous," Beatrice exploded. "A child doesn't know what's best, doesn't he? Luca, come down here." Luca appeared, shy but determined. He came down and went straight to Isabella. "Son, during these 30 days, who took better care of you?" Luca looked at the 5, then at Isabella. "Bella. Why?" "Because she really loves me, she's not fake. And she makes the best sandwiches in the world." Some people laughed warmly. "And what did you want to happen?" Luca looked at his father hopefully. "I wanted Bella to stay forever, and for these ladies to leave because they're mean." The entire audience turned to the 5 candidates, who were dying of shame. "Now you know the truth," Vincent told the crowd. But the biggest surprise was still to come. Vincent turned to everyone and said, "I want you to know the truth about Isabella too." He grabbed a folder and started reading. Isabella Martinez, 25 years old. Worked for the Santos family for 2 years taking care of twins. The mother said she was the best employee she ever had. Worked for Dr. Stevens for 1 year. He offered her a raise to stay. Took care of Mrs. Oliveira's grandmother. They said she treated the lady like family. With each reference, the audience became more impressed. In all these jobs, Isabella was described as honest, caring, and hardworking. Isabella was crying, but now with relief. "So when my 8-year-old son said he preferred her to 5 rich women, I should have listened from day one. Because children don't lie about love. Children feel who's real." The crowd applauded. Several people were emotional. "Isabella," Vincent said, turning to her, "I want to apologize in front of everyone." "You don't need to." "I do. I doubted you. I believed lies instead of believing what I saw every day." Vincent took her hands. "You took care of my son when he needed it most. You brought joy to our home. Thank you for believing in me in the end." Isabella sobbed. "No, thank you for not giving up on us." Beatrice, who'd been quiet, exploded. This is absurd. You're making a scandal over a maid. The phrase echoed through the hall. Everyone looked at her with disgust. A maid, Vincent repeated. Listen to that phrase carefully. To these 5, Isabella is worth less because she cleans the house. She's worth less because she's poor. She's worth less because she doesn't have a degree. But to them, this makes her inferior. It's not about being inferior. Regina tried. It's about social compatibility. Social compatibility, Carla, Vincent's sister, shouted. You humiliated an innocent person over that? You have no shame, another guest yelled. The 5 were being surrounded by general anger, people filming, and they knew it would end up on social media. We're leaving, Beatrice said, trying to maintain composure. Great idea, Vincent agreed. And don't come back. Mike approached with the camera. Ladies, care to comment? No comment, Victoria said, covering her face. Get out of the way, Regina shouted, pushing the camera. The 5 left the party with everyone shouting, Shame! When the door closed, the entire party applauded. Vincent turned to Isabella and Luca. Now let's get to the most important part. With the 5 out of the house, the atmosphere changed completely. Everyone was excited, talking about what they'd seen. Vincent asked for attention again. Everyone, when I organized this competition, I thought I knew what was best for my son. I thought fancy education, money, and status were what mattered. He looked at Luca and Isabella. But my son taught me there are much more important things. Luca, Vincent said, kneeling. You spent 30 days with 5 candidates. They all offered to be your mother. Now it's time for you to choose. The hall fell completely silent. Among those 5 women who left here, which do you choose to be your new mother? Luca looked at his father with shining eyes. None of them, Dad. None? They're fake. They don't really like me. The audience murmured approval. So what do you want? Luca looked at Isabella, who was holding her breath. I want Bella as my mom. The hall exploded in applause and cheers. But Luca, Vincent said, acting, Bella wasn't in the competition. She's our employee. I don't care, Luca said firmly. She takes care of me, she loves me, she makes me laugh when I'm sad. And if you marry her, she won't be an employee anymore. She'll be my mom. Isabella was crying so hard she could barely breathe. Luca, she said, kneeling. Sweetheart, your father might not want. I do, Vincent interrupted. Isabella looked up, surprised. I do, Vincent repeated loudly. I choose you too, Isabella. What? Vincent took her hand in front of everyone. During these 30 days, I wasn't just seeing who'd be a good mother for Luca. I was seeing who'd be a good wife for me. And you, Isabella Martinez, are the most honest, caring, and genuine woman I've ever met. The crowd was silent, emotional. You don't have money, but you have character. You don't have a degree, but you have wisdom. You don't have status, but you have love. And love is all a family needs. Isabella was sobbing. Mr. Romano, I'm just a housekeeper. You're so much more than that, he said, wiping tears from her face. You saved my son from sadness. You're the woman I fell in love with. The entire party was emotional, several people crying. Isabella Martinez, Vincent said, pulling out a small box from his pocket. Will you marry me? The hall held its breath. Isabella looked at Vincent, then at Luca, then at all those people. I will, she said through sobs. The party exploded. Applause, screams, whistles. Luca jumped into her arms, shouting, Now you're my mom. Vincent put on the ring and kissed her in front of everyone. Long live the family, someone shouted. Mike filmed everything. Story of the year, he murmured. And it really was. After the congratulations, Vincent asked to speak one more time. Everyone, I want to explain why I'm making this choice. The party calmed down. 8 months ago when my wife died, I thought I'd never love anyone again. Luca fell into depression, stopped eating, playing, smiling. I didn't know what to do anymore. Vincent looked at Isabella with gratitude. Then this woman came to our house. Simple, humble, with no pretensions whatsoever. In 1 week, Luca was smiling again. In a month, playing. In 2, happy. And I started to realize it wasn't just Luca who was changing. Vincent held Isabella's hand. I was falling in love with the way she cared for my son, with patience, with real affection. I fell in love with her simplicity, honesty, the way she didn't pretend to be what she wasn't. Isabella was emotional listening. During these 30 days, 5 women tried to win me over with luxury, trips, promises of status. But Isabella won me over with something far more valuable: true love. Love for me and my son, without self-interest, without pretense. The audience was moved. "Isabella," Vincent said, turning to her, "I know our social difference might generate comments, but I don't care. Because for the first time in 8 months, I feel complete." "You really want to marry me?" Isabella asked, still insecure. "I do," Vincent said firmly. "I want to form a family with you and Luca. I want you to be my wife, my son's mother, and God willing, mother to the children we'll still have." Isabella blushed. "Vincent, you can call me Love now," he said, smiling. The entire party laughed and applauded. Luca butted into the conversation. "Bella, now you can help me with homework every day." "I can, my son," Isabella said, hugging him. "My son," she repeated. "I never thought I'd be able to say that." "Now you can," Vincent said. "He's as much yours as he is mine." Carla approached. "Isabella, I want to apologize." "Why?" "Because when I heard the rumors, I believed them. I judged you without knowing you. Today I saw who you really are. My brother couldn't have made a better choice." "Welcome to the family," Carla said, hugging Isabella. Other relatives approached to congratulate. "You're an example," Dr. Roberts said. "You showed that love has no social class." The party continued late into the night, everyone celebrating the love that conquered evil. On Monday, Mike's story went live and went viral. "Socialites invent lies to destroy housekeeper" was the headline. The party video was viewed by millions. The comments were harsh for the 5. "What horrible women. Money without character. The housekeeper is worth more than all 5 together." Beatrice woke up to several calls, clients canceling, friends distancing. "Beatrice, it's Marcia. Sorry, but I'll have to cancel your invite to my wedding." "Marcia, please. I can't have someone who humiliates staff at my party." Victoria lost thousands of followers. Some brands canceled contracts. "We cannot be associated with prejudiced behavior," one email said. Regina started being questioned at work. Some clients sought other lawyers. Cassandra saw patients canceling. "I don't want someone who maltreats children taking care of my daughter." Sophia had projects postponed. "We don't trust people who make up lies," a client said. The 5 who thought they were powerful discovered society didn't like their behavior. In contrast, Isabella became a symbol of dignity. She received hundreds of supportive messages. Other housekeepers felt represented. "You showed we're worth as much as any rich lady," one wrote. "Thank you for not bowing your head," said another. Vincent was also praised for choosing love over status. "Congratulations for showing that a real man values character," people commented. A week later, the 5 met at a cafe. All upset. "We ruined our lives," Beatrice said. "Because of a maid," Victoria murmured. "It was our fault," Regina admitted. "We went too far. Now everyone sees us as villains," Cassandra lamented. "And the worst part is they're not wrong," Sophia concluded. "We really were cruel." Meanwhile, at the mansion, life had changed completely. Isabella was no longer an employee. She was a fiancée and future mother. "I can't believe this is real," she told Vincent in the garden. "It is real, and it's going to get even better." Vincent smiled. "Just wait to see what our life together will be like." 3 months later, on a sunny Saturday morning, the same mansion hosted a simple and emotional wedding. Isabella looked beautiful in a simple white dress. She didn't want excessive luxury. She wanted something that showed who she really was. Vincent waited for her at the improvised altar in the garden, with Luca beside him as ring-bearer. "Mom," Luca said, pulling on her dress. "You look beautiful." "Thank you, my son," Isabella answered, still getting emotional with that word. The ceremony was intimate, just family and real friends. None of the pomp Vincent used to have. "Vincent," the officiant asked, "do you take Isabella as your wife?" "I do," he said, looking into her eyes. "Forever." "Isabella, do you take Vincent as your husband?" "I do," she said emotionally. "With all my heart." "And you, Luca?" the officiant said, smiling. "Do you accept Isabella as your mother?" I do, Luca shouted, making everyone laugh. "Then I pronounce you husband, wife, and son." The small crowd applauded. Vincent kissed Isabella while Luca hugged them. "Now we're a real family," the boy said. "We always were," Isabella answered. "From the first day." 6 months later, more joy. Isabella was expecting a baby. "Vincent," she said nervously, "you're going to be a father again." Vincent was shocked, then shouted with joy and picked her up. "Really? Really?" she said, laughing. Luca, hearing from hiding, ran out. "I'm getting a little brother." When their daughter was born, Helena, Luca didn't want to leave the crib. "She's so tiny," he said, amazed. "You were like that too," Isabella said. "Mom, thank you for coming into our family. Thank you for accepting me, my son." Vincent watched emotionally. His family was complete. 2 years later, they were in the garden on a Sunday afternoon. Luca played with Helena, who was already walking. Vincent and Isabella watched happily. "Bella," Vincent said, "do you regret anything?" "Regret what?" "Accepting to work here, going through all that." Isabella looked at the house where the children played. "Never," she said. "If I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have this family. It was worth all the suffering." Vincent kissed her under the afternoon sun. "I love you, Isabella Romano. I love you too, my husband." And they lived happily, proving that true love knows no social class difference. Love born from a pure heart is stronger than any prejudice. When we choose to love truly, it doesn't matter where we came from, but where we're going together. Did you like this story? Do you think Isabella deserved to be Luca's new mom? Tell me in the comments.